I cringe at the thought of cold calling. Now, through Matt Brown Media, you've started cold calling hackathons.
Yeah.
What is that about?
Basically, the principle is cold calling really sucks. But do you know what sucks more than cold calling? Being broke. And so,
sure.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, pick your battles, dude. You know what I mean? Like, So basically, how this all came about was, again, introvert still, like, you know, but picking up the phone, speaking to a stranger, it doesn't come naturally to a lot of people. And even if you are an excellent cold caller and you love people and you're just so good at, you know, you got the gift of the gab and you can understand the problem and you understand how to sell, even if you're there, if you're on your own, it becomes a bit of a trudge. So it just, that whole space was quite problematic for a lot of people. And so I consult to a lot of startups also, and so I phoned up a friend of mine, Benji, who runs Empty Trips, and I said to her, so what are you doing about your pipeline? And so and she basically said to me, well, you know, we've got this long spreadsheet of like 35,000 businesses. I'm like, well, that's impressive, so what are you doing about your pipeline? In other words, she was procrastinating and her sales team was procrastinating. And so I said to her, I'll tell you what, like, I hate cold calling, you hate cold calling. Why don't you get your people together? I'll get some of my people together, and we'll cold call, hack the thing to death, right? So we did, and we ran a session where we all get together in a room, and we just started cold calling. And the first session, I don't know why this works, but the dynamic just seems to really motivate people. And so we closed 8 JSE listed clients, Johannesburg Stock Exchange listed clients, in like 30 minutes. So by close, not meaning you sold something, but you sold a meeting. In other words, you phoned someone who didn't know you from Bar Soap, you said something that piqued their interest, and you sold that meeting, because that's where you're going to go and make that close, right? And so we did that, and then it's just blossomed from there. It's purely a case of saying, again, going back to that limitations thing, the only thing that stopped you from getting what you want in business, regardless of whether you're working in the corporate space or whether you're working for yourself, is you. You know, picking up that phone, because people would much rather send an email, right, than pick up the phone. I just don't get it. It's like email people, it's so easy to ignore. You know, it's just, and it's like,
and you receive so many of them also.
And so why must you compete on email when you can just pick up the phone and go and meet someone? Because you're not gonna sell something on an email. Do you know what I mean? And so basically, that's how it is. So now we have bells. We incentivize people with cash. We bring external salespeople, masters of sales, into the room or into the whole sales team, and we'll basically say, right, you know, in this envelope is a lot of cash, which there is, which you can spend on like whatever you want, but you have to beat our guy or our guys. And then we have a bell there, and so the guys basically, every time they sell a meeting, they basically come ring the bell. It becomes quite a high energy exercise. And then we generated like 35 leads in 40 minutes for one commercial property company. I don't know why it works, it just really works. But importantly, it's fun.
But everyone's amped up, I think, you know?
But it's really fun. So it's just a side thing that I find interesting, because the other passion that I have is psychology. So I find that quite a sweet spot from a personal limitations perspective, because I don't know, like, it's when you're young, it's like, what did your mom tell you about strangers?
Like, not to talk to them.
Exactly. So it's a thing that's ingrained like in your psychology, and just being able to break through that, because if you can do that, you know, obviously sales being the lifeblood of any business, like if you can break through that stuff, like you can truly create amazing things. You know, it's how I fill rooms of 500 people. It's purely from selling and understanding how to sell ideas to people. But unless you break through your own limitations and you grow in the process, like, it'll always remain the same.
Exactly. It won't change.